Awesome work, my dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got. He thought he was gonna be able to beat me on the ground, and I told MattieC that I was coming here to take no L's. And if you got a problem with that, 1-800, call my bluff, baby.
You heard it here.
On this team, we fight for that itch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that itch.
Coming in at 320 kilobytes per second, it's time for MattieC's Sports for you and me.
All right, everybody. MattieC Sports for you and me. I got my homie here, Travis Lizotte. Now, let me tell you, this dude is an encyclopedia of knowledge toward the MMA game. And he's so good, people like to type over his things because he's a great writer. And if you want to know what happens during an event live in action, he'll post it, and then you'll know the result. That's how good this kid is. So, Travis, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right, my friend. Good to finally get on here.
And you're always welcome, of course. So yeah. If you remember Friday, August 6th, 2011, John Doomsday card is when I met you and Lars. That was the first time.
Yep.
And I was like, what do? I can't get videos of nobody, interviews or nothing. And then ever since then, I've seen you everywhere.
Yeah, dude. It's the best part about the scene right now is there's so much going on, especially here in New England regionally. The scene just keeps blowing up. And I'm really just hoping that I can have something to do with that. My goal has always been to leave the sport better than I found it. And I'm hoping that's what we're doing. And I see a big bubble here in the New England MMA community. And we just want to keep that growing. That includes people like you, people like us, and especially the fighters and promotions that make it all happen.
Exactly. And, MMA is such a welcoming place, like when I first started and, obviously with CES, but also Cage Titans, which is a New England-based fighting I don't want to call it corporation, but just Cage Titans. That's all I can say.
Cage Titans. It's a name in itself. They stand by themselves. They do a great job.
So, you've been to every single solitary event. I say, oh, where are you at this week? Oh, I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here. So, what's the travel like? Does it ever get boring, or you ever get sick of it?
No, dude, that's the great thing about MMA. Any given night, you're going to see something that you've never seen before. That's what I love about it, and this is really a passion project for me. People come at me all the time. Hey, why are you writing this? What are you covering this for and not covering me? And it's like, dude, I'm not getting paid to do this. This is a hobby right now. Mm-hmm. This is what I like to do. And as soon as it loses that fun, that's not going to be a good day for me. I want to continue to have fun. I'm a fan of the sport, first off. And my goal here is to be able to attend some of these events, give some of my knowledge, pass some of this knowledge on to the people that really would like to hear about it, and just keep doing this thing and trying to make these fighters get the shine that they deserve. Yeah, man, there wasn't a whole lot of this, a few years ago, and now it's fun to be able to watch these fighters come up and kind of groom them to be the people that they're going to be when they hit the bigger stage, and get a little bit of eyes and shine on these guys, put them in front of the microphone, put them in front of a camera, and actually get them where they need to be to become successful professionals.
Exactly. And even the Amis too, and you gain a rapport with these guys, like a lot of them are friendly. I don't think I've met a mad or asshole MMA fighter. I really haven't in my time being with Cage Titans, with CES, wherever. And it's always a good time. It really is. And like you said, it's a family knit community coming from. I always see you guys. Caged In is now locked in. Just the names keep going on. So, just meeting all these guys. I mean, you and I, we've met. Billy Goff is tonight. He's fighting Dana White's Contender Series, and he came in with a force, taking belts right away, 2 CES belts and Cage Titans belt, and just hasn't stopped. So I think there's going to be a good test for him with Smoritsky tonight.
Yeah, this is a big card. It's being fought on the left coast, but there's a lot of the East Coast vibe with this, where we got 2 guys with Billy Goff and Connor Matthews. I've always been a big fan of Goff. Goff has really put himself to the test, where a lot of prospects like to take kind of the easy road to that nice clean record and hope to get noticed by the UFC. But Goff wasn't afraid to fight some dogs. I mean, he fought Gary Boletto, he fought Justin Sumter, he fought Cameron Lashinov. He's fought just the who's who of MMA in New England at his division. And that it just is so cool to me to see a guy like that having put the effort in and not taking the easy road, and then finally getting discovered for his talents. And I think he's really going to shine tonight. Billy Goff's a tough kid. He's been in with a bigger opponent before with Justin Sumter, who fought on Contender Series. So he's got that kind of the mentality it takes to beat somebody like that. I just think this is going to be a coming out party for Billy Goff. Win, lose, or draw tonight, I think he's going to gain a lot of fans just because of his grit and his heart. And I think that's going to show tonight in Vegas.
And what he did last fight, he was in trouble on the ground in the first round. And then Billy Goff style just comes out of it. Same with Jay Perrin. I didn't think he was going to win that fight. Beat him. I was like, Jesus. So him and Connor Matthews, 2 Cage Titans warriors, and this is going to be awesome to see. Tonight's going to be very interesting, and it's weird it's on a Tuesday. I found that weird, but that's all right. It gives me a good thing to watch tonight.
Yeah, no, Tuesday's event is great for me because I'm a server in my other career, and Tuesday nights my restaurant is closed. So put all the MMA on Tuesdays you guys want, because I will keep watching it.
Oh man! So I'll just recap quick for the last Cage Titans we had. Cage Titans 54. What a banger we had at the end of the night. We had Giannetti take care of his opponent really quick. Just the bloodbath between Peter Barrett and Jacob Bond. What an unbelievable fight that was.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great main event. I mean, that's Bone's second real gritty, tough fight at Cage Titans. He always brings a really good fight, leaves it all on the cage. Yeah, that one just played to the whole mantra of the evening. That it was quite the build-up and then quite the main event.
And the Muay Thai, man. The Muay Thai was insane. Just everything about that night was great. July 2nd card was definitely a good one. And the one coming up should be very interesting. I mean, we got Joe, who just came out of a fight, and then Trevor says, he said his choice words and wasn't really bad. And then Joe Giannetti goes, run it. So I think that's an interesting fight. I mean, I really don't see a clear winner. It's not like one has a favor. It's in one's favor. It's really not. And you got,
I mean, Joe's got the track record, but Trevor has also made a big push lately with his Bellator win over the Gracie, and just really just sticking to his game, submitting people. I mean, obviously the win in Bellator was a knockout, and it wasn't really scarecrow style, if you will, but this is a great matchup. Two really lengthy guys. Of course, Trevor is much lengthier. He's at 6'9" for a welterweight, which is absolutely insane. But Joe's always been super lanky for a fiber. I think it's a really good matchup that puts two guys that are good grapplers, have length in the striking department. I think, I'd be very interested to see the outcome of this one.
And another one that I found interesting was Lionel Bugs Young taking on Bruno Chikar Diaz, which I am very interested in that fight as well. That is going to be a banger for sure. I know it's been held off for both fighters, different reasons, so this one should be a banger too. And they both, I've talked to them both, and they're ready for this stuff. And the other good one is Tyler Smythe with his title, goes with his flyweight title against Arthur Mupofu, who we both know that Arthur can bang, and Arthur is very skilled and talented in coming out of SPG Alabama too.
Yeah, this is going to be, I believe, his 10th amateur fight for Arthur. And like 4 or 5 of them are title fights. This guy's putting in the work in the amateur division, grabbing a couple belts, and now he's got this young upstart Tyler Smythe, never lost New England scene, wins the flyweight title, and now wants to go and capture that bantamweight title. That's a huge fight. It's going to be a super fun one to watch. And like you said, Bruno and Bugs, it's been a little bit of a long time coming for those two guys. And the weird thing is, to me, is Bugs started his career down here and Bruno started his career up here, and they've kind of almost like intersected at some point. Bruno was, one of those hot prospects in New England for the longest time. He's faced some adversity recently, taken some tough fights, couple tough losses. Mm-hmm. And then you got Lionel, who started his career fighting everyone you'd put in front of him. And his record got a little bit lopsided. And now, where he's training daily, he's just grinding, and he's ground through the toughest people he can find. And now he's starting to put some wins together, and you see him in these big fights. And that's a lot of people have posted some feedback on our rankings, and having Lionel as in our top 10 rankings at the bantamweight division, and having a lopsided record. But you got to look at this dude. The last 7 or 8 fights, he's been virtually unbeatable. He's an absolute dog. He's got a gas tank. He's got heart. And I love watching this dude enter the cage, especially considering the way he started his career and now the way he's resurrected it.
I mean, with you and I, we saw Christ. That was one of the best fights. His last one with Joe Penafiel, the party.
Yeah,
and
fight.
They had mutual respect for each other. They talked a lot of shit to each other, but in the end, that was a really good fight. And the rematch, I wish would happen, but I am not sure that is going to happen.
I'm not sure that's in the cards. It would be cool to think that the winner of Bruno and Lionel will get that title shot with the party. But the party has been oddly absent in the last couple months from Cage Titans. He was on just about every card. Looks like he's taking a little bit of time hanging out in Florida for a little while. But it would be nice to think that the winner of Bruno and Lionel will get that title shot. And I'd love to see that fight again with Lionel, but it would be also another great fight with Bruno. Joe Penafiel likes to grapple a little bit, and that plays right into the game of Bugs, and even more so to Jacare.
Oh, he is the most fucking I don't understand his methods. Like, I was talking to him and I said, why the fuck did you do a Superman dive in the middle of your fight and like all this shit? He's like, I don't know, I just thought about it at that moment. Like, that's how Joe Penafiel works. And it delivers and it shows. And I would love for him to come up here, and he's very emotional when it comes to coming up here. He loves it here. He loves the fans. He loves you. He loves us. Like, it's a good time every time you talk to the guy, and he has the craziest metaphors I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, dude. I remember the first time I talked to him was at the presser before the Cage Titans, where he fought Pat Gilbride. First time for him in New England. First time I had ever met him face to face. He comes with these big stunner shades on, all dressed to the nines, not saying a word to anyone. And I kind of was the first one to interview him over to the side. And I was like, there's something about this kid that's just going to catch some attention. And then he goes out and he beats Gilbride, and then he keeps rolling it into just beating Cage Titans guy after Cage Titans guy, captures the belt. There's not one person in New England that can say that they were rooting for him when he came in to fight Gilbride. And now he's fighting New England guys and having the crowd on his side. It's just crazy. This is really
I know.
in MMA.
But he was the enemy for a long time, and now he's the big dog. And
yeah, he pissed a lot of people off. But his antics in the cage ended up getting him a lot more likes than it did people that didn't like him. And his antics in the cage leading up to the fight, he knows how to sell a fight, but he's not disrespectful about it. He's very confident in his ways. His walkouts are awesome. His playing to the crowd mid-fight is really awesome. But at the end of the day, he's a very respectful person, and he's hard not to like.
No, exactly. And the other thing I'm really shocked about was I saw Andrew Valdina is now turning pro, which that really surprised me, because I thought he would do a little bit more in the Emmys and then come up. But the true test is in October for sure. I mean, yeah. I love Andrew. He's a good dude. I just didn't have the time to talk to him, and then we were going back, and then we finally talked, and he's a good dude. Those mullet guys are all cool dudes, Trevor and him.
Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of Valdina myself, and the only thing, Valdina had lost a couple in a row there. There was question whether or not he'd turn pro, whether or not he needed another fight at Emmy, but he's gone out of his weight class to fight people. I think if he gets in a good camp, finds his weight class, bantamweight, featherweight, somewhere in between there, and can put what he's learned from the fights that he's had inside the Cage Titans cage, because he's fought, his last 3 fights have been absolute dogs that he's fought, fighting other guys from all around the country, having to bring in guys to fight him. But I think that's going to be to his advantage turning pro, that he's had these contests with pro level type amateurs and Cage Titans at heavier weights. So I've always been pulling for Valdina. The mullet really sells it for me. And I love he's had some antics as well. I call him like a gunslinger. He's almost like a Doc Holliday, a badass Western style gangster. And that's the type of persona I want him to keep, because that's what fits him well. They call him the Gladiator, but I think he's a Doc Holliday in my book.
I was talking to him about, I think it was my last interview, but it was after the interview. I talked to him and I said, what made you come up with Jim Croce's I Got a Name? Like, I would have never pictured you as a guy who would put that. And it was cool that he told me about the story behind it and all that. So he's definitely got a personality. And, these guys, they're normal people. Like, people are like, oh, well, he's an MMA fighter. He's probably like but like all the people, like I said, all the people you meet and stuff. And it was cool because, we're bringing guys from SBG, Alabama. How many did we bring, Travis? They had
3 or 4. They had Eric Anders there cornering them. They had 3 or 4.
Crutchfield, Arthur, and Siegfried. Yeah.
Siegfried.
So, oh man, that was cool to talk to Eric Anders, man. Alabama guy wins a national championship, and he's like, nah, whatever.
Dude, he's mad cool. He was so cool.
But that's what I mean. Like,
I wanted to bring up something too. When you say like the community, I have people that I work with. There are people that are outside the MMA community all the time, and we're like, "Hey, you seem to be pretty big in this MMA thing. When do you feel like you made it?" And I tell them all the time, the coolest thing that I've noticed is I used to walk into these arenas and be like, oh my God, hey, there's Matt Bessette, there's this guy, there's Devin Powell, here's so-and-so. And now I walk into that same room and people are noticing me, like pointing me out and know me. And people are just so accepting of the fact that, we're all kind of shooting for the same thing. We all want these fighters to make it to the next level. We all want to be the biggest thing in the sport. We all want to be the biggest thing in the region. But I'm just pushing, man. I want people to recognize the fact that I work a 40-hour-a-week job. I have weird hours because I'm a second shifter. I'm a server. I'm managing guys. I am writing these articles, trying to get these guys publicity. It's really just something I really am passionate about. And when people take me the wrong way, or people take anything we do at New England MMA the wrong way, it really sucks because, deep down, common denominator to all of our work is to make sure that these guys get the recognition and that the sport is really progressing while we are here.
Yeah, and you guys are extremely professional trio. I mean, well, someone.
We have our moments.
You have the perfect, it's exceptional what your site is like. It's not just a quick thing. Like, you can see rankings, you can see upcoming events, you do the live play-by-play, which I think is excellent, because if you're not there, well, Travis got you, because you're right in front of the cage. And then you have Lars, who deals with, video photography stuff and writing on his own, and Steve, who is just a madman, who has like all these gadgets and all these crazy things. He has The Room. Everybody follow The Room too, The Room podcast. That's good stuff. He's like me, but he interviews everybody. And I think
it's great. I feel like we have like the perfect. So Lars is over here on the I'm pretty professional business like, and then Steve's over here like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do my thing, let somebody stop me. And I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, like, I try to keep both sides together, make sure everything works. But yeah, we're three passionate people about this sport. We actually just brought along somebody new, a good pal of mine, Jeff, who's going to start writing some articles, start and cover some events for us. We really want to make sure that we're giving the best product that we possibly can. We didn't start this thing to do it half-ass. We didn't launch this thing in the middle of COVID, not to put in our best effort and try to get this thing off the ground. I mean, at this point, we've got we started in April after COVID. We were supposed to launch with a Cage Titans double card, and that never happened. So that got shut down. But since then, we have about 700 original created articles on our website, and then a whole myriad of stuff on our YouTube and things like that. The idea is just to get out as much content as possible, be as non-biased as possible, which some people think it's hard to do with the management thing and everything, but we've got guys that are doing all different things. And at the end of the day, we're doing this to help everybody. It's a really cool thing, and I'm pretty proud of what we have going here, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that other people see us in this light and want to kind of up their games and do things that they may not have done if we weren't around. I just want it would be foolish of me to think that we are number one and we outweigh anyone else, but we really want to just make it a thing where everyone can get on the come up, because we've kind of brought it to light and into the media. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to do. We put three minds together and created something pretty cool, I think.
Oh, it's excellent, because, you guys welcome me at every fight anyways. We all dap and say what up and stuff like that. And, we all both are, like you said, going for the one thing. We're all going for the content. We're all going for the media part of it. We're going for the fun. It's not like it's not a job, but it's like you want to have it to perfection. And we all have dealt with, some different type of things at the events, like, stuff said and whatever, but who cares? I mean, we're all a family. Like, I consider you three family, and, especially you and Lars, you guys like helped me at CES. I'll never forget it. And Jarrett Kelly, you little bitch, you little fucking ditched us. Ditching us for fucking Corvettes and shit.
Oh yeah, but he's always having a good time. So yeah, he's gonna get his taste of MMA back though. I talk to him all the time.
I know. I want
he
him
wants
back
to,
too.
but yeah, I think if he gets one more taste of the blood, he'll be back for a couple shows, hopefully. But it was always good to have him around. I mean, the more people covering the sport, the better, really. Send them to your page, send them to my page, send them to Ryan Jarrell's page. I don't care. I want everyone to get some play because it's only going to help everyone else out. So MattieC is good in my book. Anyone's good in my book. There's no one pissing in my Cheerios every morning. I wake up a happy man, whether or not I have everything going for me or have nothing going for me. I'm a pretty positive human being, and I think I've tried to show that.
Agreed, man. And you know what's funny? You started April 2020. That's when I started. So
yes,
has to be good shit happening there.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of background. Steve had a lot of background. We all had something to bring to the table. Lars had built websites before. Lars had a judging background, actually judged fights for 10 years, and then hung those up when we started the website. But that I have always envisioned since I started writing to have kind of my own brand or to take over the previous brand that I had worked for. However, rebranding something and making it something all of our own was something that Lars came to me with. And I was just like, that's a really awesome idea. Are we going to be able to make all the personalities work together? And sometimes we have trouble with it. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we all go to bed saying fuck each other. And then we wake up in the morning and brew each other a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? But in the long run, like I said, common denominators make this sport better.
And it's funny because, I see Steve at events and I can't help but laugh, like he's got that charismatic personality, but he does take this very serious. And, Lars, like, I've never seen that kid. I've never seen him ever happy. You're always a happy guy there. Tell that dude. Oh, as a matter of fact, shout out to you, Lars. Where's my hat? Oh yeah. So we got to talk about your stuff too.
I've talked to him every time I've seen him. I've said you got to order MattieC's hat, and it's not a matter of ordering it. It's like it's in his cart on our site, and he's just gonna hit checkout. We'll get it to you, buddy, because we definitely want you rocking it. Like I said, like you said, Lars is pretty businesslike, pretty quiet as far as when he's at events and stuff like that. Steve is very outspoken, and again, I'm kind of in the middle. But we, our thing works. And like I said, we can go through tiffs and come out the other side loving each other. It's just one of those things. You deal with certain people so much that eventually things are going to boil over, and then you're going to reel them back in. It's bound to happen. But especially when you get three people as passionate as us together. Things can get crazy. But I mean, it really goes without saying that all these guys that I work with here are super passionate. Lars has put over 10 years into learning the sport through the judging and things like that. And to build this site, super huge. And then Steve he started out interviewing anyone that would get in contact with him, and he still will. Like, that's the cool thing. Steve has interviewed the top echelon of the sport to the AMI debuter before he debuts. And he's still, I mean, if you reach out to Steve for an interview, he will interview you. Steve's not really in the market right now to go out fishing for interviews because he's got so many people lined up. So if you want an interview with Steve Domenico, get a hold of him. He'll interview you. All he wants you to do is help the people that want help. And I think that he gets misunderstood for that sometimes. And it's really a disappointment when he tells me, oh, we got so-and-so coming on the show Wednesday, and they stand him up and they don't show up. And
it's the worst.
He puts in hours setting up the show, getting everything ready for an interview, and then somebody just leaves him hanging. It sucks. So understand that we're here to help anyone. As long as you hold up your end of the bargain, that's all we ask. Let's make this thing huge and, stand behind what we do and really put out a great product for the fighters in the cage and for the fans reading our articles and watching our stuff.
Tell him to get Sean, man. That kickboxing. Oh. That backhand he
Schubert?
threw. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
dude. Schubert's on his show all the time. Him and Sean are super close. Schubert's been in studio a bunch too. Yeah. Sean's one of his favorites. He always has been, and we have him on the show quite a bit. That spinning back fist, that absolutely bloody war. He is so fun to watch. I mean, I would almost compare his heart to like a Billy Goff. He sees blood and just wants to walk through that blood to come out the other side of victor. Yeah, Sean's a savage.
He is, man. And I don't know. There's just so many events going on. It's crazy. I mean, up in Maine, like, is there some events coming up in Maine?
We just had an event. NEF was last weekend. It was an outdoor event, which was kind of cool.
That's right.
It was undercover, but it was at a venue that they do a lot of concerts and stuff at. So I was unable to attend, unfortunately, because of work commitments. But from everything I've seen, the product looked really good, and the few people that I've talked to that were there just said they loved the venue. It really played well. Fights were good, lots of finishes. So that was last Saturday. Nothing really going on again until I believe they announced September in Bangor, Maine. That's a long haul. That's a couple hours from me. But we'll probably make it up there because that's headed towards the off season of my work schedule. So I get a little bit more time to play with the MMA thing when the tourists start going home and not occupying the seats at my restaurant.
Oh, please, man. Tell them how far you travel just to get to these events. Plymouth Memorial Hall from Maine.
Yeah, well, the good thing is I'm just over the border in Maine, but so it kind of puts me in the center of everything, but it's still like if I travel to CES, it's a 2-hour drive. If I travel to Cage Titans, it can be, especially going to the Cape on a weekend in the summertime, you can add another hour to whatever your travel time is because the traffic's absolutely ridiculous. But there have been weekends where Lars and I have gotten his car on a Thursday afternoon and not shown back up to our houses until Sunday. Just, we've done 2 or 3 events in one weekend. I know. Met up with new fighters, tried to sign fighters. There was this one weekend I remember in particular that we had covered a Cage Titans event. The next day we covered a CES event, and in between we went to Worcester, Massachusetts to sign Colin Robinson. So it was just like a weekend full of crazy.
What a fight he had too.
Yeah, man, we're super excited about him. Wins the first Muay Thai belt in Cage Titans. Really,
that
we
was
want to
unbelievable.
See
what a fight.
He put on a great display. Had a great opponent too, because his opponent was right with him for the first couple rounds until Colin could really start wearing him down and showing that he's the younger, a little bit more physical guy. We're super excited to get him into the MMA arena. He was a champion, or he currently holds the belts at Valor FC for the middleweight division. He went overseas the beginning of this year and came in second in the GMMA Worlds. We're super excited about this kid. He was fighting professionals with unblemished records overseas in an amateur competition and ended up coming out with a silver medal. He should be fighting for the Cage Titans middleweight belt as soon as he and Judiafor can find common ground on when they can both be healthy and ready to make it into the cage. But that's a fight that we really want to see. Judiafor is the top talent when it comes to amateur middleweights in England, and the only way to show that we have the guy that can take that from him is to take it from him. I'm a big fan of Judiafor. Watched every fight he's ever been in, watched some of the grappling matches he's been in. If Colin really wants to go on and show that he's going to have a successful career, going to be a budding pro, he's going to have to get through Judiafor. That's just all there is to it, and we're looking forward to having that fight happen.
And I will help you. That they say his name is Judiafor, because I was at Lionel's. I was at Lionel's gym, and also his gym too, and Trevor's.
Citadel, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Godoffer,
like,
I've heard it said 15 different ways, and it's just
that's
it looks to me like
what I was
G4 on
told.
paper, but
That's
Godoffer,
what I
yeah,
was
I hear
told
more
by
people
the.
saying Godoffer. So this is the funny thing. We, as you know, we manage Jacob. Jacob
Yeah.
Bone is how you really pronounce his last name, but
And
I've
I
been
said
watching.
Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone says Bond because I mean, I've been watching Jacob's career for probably the last 8 or so years since I've been on the New England scene, and I've called him Jacob Bone my entire length of knowing him, and he still corrects me but it's just one of those things that you say it so much in one way. I've been saying Gideofor since I've known his name, and now it's Gideofor or whatever it is, and I've been saying Jacob Bone since, I don't know, 2010 maybe. Like, yeah, some of those
Tell him to join. Tell him to join. Tell him to join. I've been asking him like a mofo to come on the show.
Jacob?
And yes.
Okay.
Let him know.
You should get him with his boy Hicksonbaugh at the same time. They're two really good dudes. I can try to drop him a line and send him your way. Both
sounds good.
Both out of the same gym. And Jake Hicksonbaugh, who fought his pro debut at CES 69 the same night that we were at Cage Titans. Oh no, the same night that I was at Combat FC, excuse me. He got a win in his debut, and then he was the main event at the NEF show last weekend against their former champion, their former featherweight champion, turned pro at lightweight. The kid was 2-0, and Jake got it done. Submitted him with a mounted guillotine. So yeah, we're super high on him now too, and we have been for a while since we signed him. But those two guys would be fun to have on. They like to chat it up. Some Western New York guys. They also train with our other guy John Piersma, who just won with a first round guillotine, I believe. I don't know, so many finishes this weekend. Full Contact Management, by the way, went 2-1. We did have a loss this weekend, but we're pretty successful with 2 first-round submissions too.
Very good, man. Very good. And what we should do is combine Peter Bear and Jacob Bond and discuss that fight. That fight was I can't call it fight of the year as of yet, but there's been some bloody battles everywhere.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there's one thing I wanted to ask you. So there's one article, it was a review of a live play-by-play. And it was about a person who fought a legendary amateur that we know who will stand 2-0 for life.
Yes.
On your show.
Yes.
Rankings.
Okay, now I'm catching what you're saying.
One of the greatest decision articles I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, what were you actually angry about all that transpired through of what he did? We won't say his name, but
no, I'm always pretty even keeled, but I like to kind of portray the thoughts of the people involved maybe a little bit. There was definitely some shenanigans going on, but I did hear that fella ended up picking up a win recently. So maybe some people, so maybe some people will review the fact that he may be looking to win. I don't know. Tapology did some things to his page.
I saw that. I was just about to say that to you. They were pretty much like gave a full-on blown sentence. Listen, if you want to fight him, take the risk of not getting a W or an L.
Yeah, I actually talked. We are good friends. So Lars was actually roommates in college with Brian Lambert from the Massachusetts State Athletic Commission, the 6'10" guy that you always see around the cage over at Cage Titans. And I was talking to him about it. I was like, Brian, what's going on here? And he goes, as far as the Athletic Commission is concerned, they only go by the boxing records and whatever is turned into commission. So they don't really look at Tapology. So the funny thing behind that is Tapology must have had some sort of personal beef with the guy in question here, because they took it upon themselves to take fights away from this guy and take wins away from his opponent. So it just kind of is funny to me. His record will stand.
It was funny because his on his page, it was bright yellow with it was like a label for a warning if you have bleach, like a big warning, and then I saw a 0-0. I'm like, did our friend still get the W? And he did.
Yeah.
So
well, in my book, so Tapology is not recognizing his second win. However, it's one of those things where the guy, you write this guy off, you say this guy's a bum, and then he goes out and wins a fight, and then you gotta kind of put your foot in your mouth, because there are plenty of amateurs that never win a fight. There are plenty of amateurs that turn pro that never win fights as pros. Where do you draw the line here? And our buddy Mr. Boats deserves his 2-0 win, and he deserves to ride off into the sunset until his kids are old enough to compete, and because he constantly reminds us that they're beating his ass in the gym. So hopefully we see this turn into a career for one of his two kids. It would be cool to see maybe one of his kids, up on an upcoming Cage Titans card, and maybe like a amateur Muay Thai type deal, or like a grappling thing. But what Mr. Boats did was really cool. He's been an athlete his whole life, and to do this at his age, and then to get 2 wins and have one taken away because of somebody else's problem. I still see the guy as 2-0. We went as far as to rank him in our lightweight amateur rankings.
Yes, I saw.
We know it's his last fight, but for what he's done, for what he's accomplished, and for the fact that he's near and dear to us because he helps us out with the website as well, we threw him on those rankings. He will be taken off whenever we decide to rank him again. But this is your shot at glory, Mr. Brendan Motorboats.
Motorboat, son of a bitch.
Yeah, motorboat and son of a bitch. Yeah, just enjoy it, because you're not getting any younger, buddy.
Yep, one of the coolest fights ever. And then he got all the juicy videos after, like how's the coffee, you fat fuck, or some stupid thing. But I'm glad Brendan went out the way he was, and he seems like a great athletic guy, and dedicated to soccer also, and things like that. So shout out to you, Brendan, for being a nice interview guy, and not talking shit until you came to the cage, and being a good dude. So shout out to you too. So my final thing, Cage Titans 55, I'm sure we'll both see each other. Are you looking forward to a particular fight as of yet? I heard the Whale is fighting the Boat.
I did hear that, the Whale versus the Boat, which I would have Whale in that one all day long, depending on the size of the boat. But I don't know, man. Cage Titans puts on a lot of good fights. I'm always looking for my guys to return to the cage. But I'm super interested in the Goody fight against Skeletor, man. That's a good fight. That's really going to show if Joe's capable of holding it down in both the lightweight and the welterweight division. Man, there's never a bad fight on Cage Titans. There really isn't. You get guys that are going in super underdogs, just come out to that 2 levels of fans peering over the cage, and it brings out something different in some people, man. They're always good fights. They're always competitive. And yeah, man, Cage Titans for overall fan experience is one of my favorite things in New England. That's for sure.
And, shout out to CES too.
I love
CES. Very professional. You get rowdy there, they'll kick your ass right out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Super professional. It's kind of 2 different types. Like CES is the person is the guy you want to bring home to your mom. Cage Titans is the guy you want to go partying with and not tell your parents.
Yep.
I'm saying 2 totally different feels, but both of them serving their purpose. That's for sure.
So my final thing, man, is where can everybody follow you yourself if you want to be followed? You want to be stalked by somebody?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook as Travis Lizotte, super easy. I have a Facebook page that's the Full Contact Writer that doesn't get a whole lot of updates recently just because since we've merged and made it all New England MMA, everything goes there. But you can follow any of us at New England MMA. NewEnglandMMA.org is the website. We'd be super happy if you'd subscribe to the website because you'll get automatic updates on your phone and stuff whenever we drop articles, whenever news hits. If you want to follow me on my personal Instagram, it's at @TheRealTravisL. And other than that, just New England MMA across the board. Go to our YouTube channel. We've been trying to do a lot of stuff. We reached 1,000 subscribers earlier this year at our YouTube channel. It helps us go live from our personal devices and things like that. Any subscribers isn't just getting you to watch our content, but it's to build our content and to make it more palatable for our fans and stuff in the near future. So likes, subscribe, shares, anything you can do. And of course, give my love to MattieC Sports for you and me, because without one of us, there isn't the other. Really, we're here to push each other, but also to be friends and dap it up in the back room at Cage Titans. I'm super happy for what you're doing, Matty, and I hope you continue to build this thing just as we are. And if you ever need anything, just let us know.
Same to you, my friend. Same to you. And I just realized it. I'll say another thing I said, but now that I think about it, Lars is getting the hat, but Steve works for the fucking post office. So, what's going on here? What's the delay?
I don't know.
Talk to both of them.
I mean, Steve does sort mail in between editing videos and lining up podcasts and stuff like that. There's a chance the hat's on the way and is just stuck somewhere in the Providence post office under Steve's desk or something along those lines. So we're going to get it to you, but it could very well be Steve's fault that it's not in your head yet.
It's more, fuck him.
So far, I've got one of the only ones in existence. But
everybody, that's some good merch right there. It's a little bit different when you see it there, but when you see it live, it's pretty dope. If you're a hat person.
Dude, raised letters. We got the New England logo on the side. I think there's like 8 or 10 different options color-wise that you can choose on the website. So you got, you got an outfit you like to wear out to the club and you don't have something that matches, the hat that matches. We probably got a hat that says New England MMA on it that'll match your suit, man. You
always rock your brand.
Wear it around. Love it. I got to get one of those. Yeah, I got to get one of those.
Well, Travis, has been an honor as usual. I'm glad we finally made it together to talk this stuff. Honored that I get to share the MMA fun with you. And, I'm always supporting you guys in your show. So nothing but respect for you guys. So thank you for being on the show, man.
Support the supporters. That's what we like to do, man. It's here and now, and it's what we're doing. And it's our passion project. You and I both have the same type of passion to bring this to the fans that watch us and the people. It's awesome thing we're doing, awesome thing you're doing, and I will see you cage side.
Yes, sir.
And very, very soon.
Yes. Well, everybody, this is MattieC Sports. This is Travis Lizotte. Follow everything. New England MMA, NewEnglandMMA.org.
Yep, New England MMA across the social media platforms.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for watching MattieC Sports for you and me. Make sure to follow Matty Cameron on Twitter at MattCameron23 or follow him on Instagram at MattieC23 or subscribe to his YouTube channel, MattieC Sports for you and me. Once again, thanks for watching.